face desire. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. I'm happy you are here, and I'm excited to talk to you about something we all experience: desire. Desire is a word we hear often, but do we really understand it? Do we know how it affects our lives? Today, I want to explore what desire is, why we have it, and how we can face it wisely. Let's start simple. What is desire? Desire is the feeling that you want something. Maybe you want a new phone, a piece of cake, or someone's attention. Maybe you want to win, to be praised, or to be loved. Desire can be small or big, short-term or long-term. It is part of being human. But here's a question for you. Is desire good or bad? Think about it. Some people say desire is bad because it leads to suffering. Others say desire is good because it pushes us to achieve things. Which do you believe? Let me tell you a story. There was once a young man named Taro. Taro wanted to be the best student in his school. He studied every day, worked hard, and got top grades. But no matter how high his scores were, he always looked at someone else who did better. He felt unhappy and jealous. One day, he asked himself, "Why am I never satisfied?" This is the tricky part of desire. Sometimes, no matter how much we get, we still want more. Scientists tell us that desire is connected to a chemical in the brain called dopamine. Dopamine gives us a feeling of excitement or pleasure when we expect a reward. But here's the important part. It's the expectation, not always the result, that gives the feeling. That's why we often chase things again and again, even when we know they don't satisfy us for long. Let me give you another example. Have you ever been excited to buy something online? You wait for the package, you feel happy when it arrives, but after a few days, the excitement fades. This is called the hedonic treadmill. We run after new pleasures, but we quickly return to the same level of happiness we had before. So we keep running, wanting more and more. Now I want to ask you something. Have you ever wanted something badly, only to realize later that it wasn't so important? Maybe you dreamed of getting into a certain club, or buying a certain outfit, but after you got it, you felt empty. Why does this happen? It's because some desires come not from inside us, but from outside. From seeing what others have, or what society says we should want. Think about social media. Every day, we see people's perfect lives online. Beautiful photos, happy faces, exciting events. It's easy to think, I want that life. But remember, what we see online is just the highlight reel. We don't see the boring or sad parts. Comparing ourselves to these images makes our own lives feel small. This creates unnecessary desires that don't reflect what we really need or value. So, how can we face our desires wisely? First, we need to pause and reflect. When you want something, stop and ask yourself, why do I want this? Will it truly make me happy? Is it coming from my own heart, or is it coming from outside pressure? Second, practice gratitude. Look around you. What do you already have? Studies show that people who regularly practice gratitude, who take time to appreciate what they have, feel happier and more satisfied. Gratitude reduces the constant hunger for more. Third, set meaningful goals. Desire itself isn't bad. Wanting to grow, to learn, to connect with others, these are healthy desires. The problem comes when we chase empty desires that only give short-term pleasure. So think about what matters most to you. What kind of person do you want to become? What dreams feel meaningful, not just shiny on the surface? Let me tell you another story. There was a woman named Anna. She wanted to become rich and famous. She worked hard, built a big online following, and made a lot of money. But after some years, she felt tired and empty. She realized she missed spending time with her family and friends. So she changed her life. She cut back on work, spent more time with loved ones, and focused on helping others. And you know what? She said she felt happier than ever. This teaches us an important lesson. Real satisfaction comes not from endless achievement, but from meaningful connection and purpose. We also need to be aware of the science behind desire. Studies show that mindfulness, the practice of paying attention to the present moment without judgment, helps people manage their desires. When you feel a strong craving, mindfulness teaches you to observe it, not immediately act on it. You notice the feeling, but you don't let it control you. This gives you the space to choose wisely. Let's do a small exercise. The next time you feel a strong desire, maybe for food, shopping, or attention, pause. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, do I need this right now? Will this bring lasting joy? Or is this just a passing feeling? Sometimes, just creating this small space between the feeling and the action can change everything. Also remember that some desires are signals. If you feel lonely, you might crave attention online, but maybe what you really need is a real conversation with a friend. If you feel stressed, you might crave sweets or junk food, but maybe what you really need is rest or a walk in nature. Understanding the deeper need behind the desire helps you respond in a healthier way. Before we close today, I want to remind you, desire is not the enemy. Desire is part of life. It gives us energy, dreams, and motivation. But when we let it control us, we become like a hamster on a wheel, running and running but never arriving. By understanding our desires, questioning them, and guiding them, we can find a deeper, more lasting happiness. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this talk gave you something to think about. Remember, you have the power to face your desires with wisdom and kindness. Take care, and see you next time.